Hello and welcome back. Today's video is the complete guide to the coinage of King George III. King George III was born in London in 1738. He took the throne in 1760 and reigned for 60 years until 1820. Lots of things happened in this time, including the 1816 recoinage. Keep watching to see all the rare gold coins at the end. But we start with the farthing, and here it is. This is the first issue farthing, minted between 1760 and 1799. Notice Britannia is not holding a trident, just a staff in the design. The obverse of this design features this portrait of King George III. This is the next farthing, the second issue, only minted in 1799, and the word farthing features underneath a new portrait of Britannia on the reverse, and there's a new obverse portrait of George III as well. This is the third issue. They only made it in a couple of years, and these are the last years in George III's reign the farthing was minted, and yet another design of Britannia. Next up is halfpennies that shared the exact same design through the exact same years, obverse and reverse, apart from the 1799 design. Once again, 1799 was only a one-off design year, and here it is for the halfpenny. It doesn't say halfpenny on it though, like the farthing said farthing on it. Next up is the penny. The penny had always been a silver coin up until 1797 when the first copper penny was released. Here it is, known as the cartwheel penny. Though circulating until 1860, that design was a one-off year. This is the new design, style and shape of penny that was used until the end of the reign of George III, but remained legal tender until 1860. The same year the cartwheel penny was released, the cartwheel twopence was released. It was twice the weight, but featured the same design and style on the obverse and reverse. It holds the record for the largest circulating coin in Britain. Now for some silver. First up is the threepence, and here it is. This is the first issue, minted between 1760 and 1816. It features a crowned 3 with the date at the top. Here's the second issue, the same design, but the date is now on the obverse. This was minted between 1817 and 1920, and here's the obverse featuring the date under the portrait of George III. Now for sixpences. Here's the first issue, minted between 1760 and 1816. Featured 4 shields with crowns, featuring the emblems and insignias and royal shields of the dynasties at the time. The obverse featured this portrait of George III, a favourite among collectors. Next up is the second issue sixpence, minted between 1816 and 1820. It features a crowned royal shield with a Hanoverian shield inside and a garter surrounding both shields. Next up are the George III shillings, which you may recognise the designs. That's right, same designs, same years and same obverses, just like the sixpences. Same for the shillings. At this time, British soldiers carried round shillings in their pockets to have the King's portrait with them while on active duty, so these shillings are known as the King's shillings and have been probably taken to war. The next denomination up is the half crown, and here is the first issue half crown, minted between 1816 and 1818. It features a super intricate detailed design, so let's take a zoom in here. We can see the hearts around the unicorn of Scotland, the greyhound and the horses at the bottom, and even a little crown right in the very centre. This coin also features the bullhead portrait of George III on the obverse. Then comes this design, the second issue minted between 1818 and 1820. A similar design, just less detail, with one of the layers of detail being removed and the words or the legend on the edge being larger. This coin also features a different obverse portrait. The last silver denomination is the crown. This design features a gartered George and the Dragon sovereign style design, also seen on later Victorian crowns, and on the obverse it features the same portrait as the one we saw on the later half crowns. And now for the most interesting and varied type of George III coins, the gold coins. We start off with the quarter guinea, only minted in 1762. It's the same diameter as a silver threepence, but heavier because it's gold, and it features a crowned shield on the reverse design. A quarter of a guinea was equivalent to 5 shillings and 3 pence, and back in the day that was the equivalent of about £60 in today's money, so not a bad coin to have in your pocket. Another good coin to have in your pocket would be the 1/3 guinea, with a value of a third of a guinea. It features a crown in the middle and the date at the bottom with a legend around the outside, and it's slightly heavier than the quarter guinea. The obverse features this portrait of George III, which is known as the long neck portrait. There was a second issue of the third guinea, and here it is, similar design, but the date is now under the crown rather than being at the bottom of the coin. The obverse has also changed to this portrait, which is even less flattering, if you ask me. Next up is the half guinea with a value of half a guinea. When it was first released, it had the same design as the quarter guinea had, but it was twice the weight. You may be more familiar with the second issue design. That's right, it's the spade shield design. A crown shield, but more pointed and tapered at the end, getting the name the spade shield design. And the obverse had this new portrait of George III on it. The half guinea even got a third issue, and here it is. Quite a cool design. A crowned garter featuring a shield and a Hanoverian shield inside, with a date under that and the legend around the sides. It makes the coin look quite big, so that must have been an intricate design on a small coin, although it was perhaps ruined with this portrait on the obverse. And now for a highly collected coin, the golden guinea. When it was first released, it had this design on the reverse and this portrait on the obverse, but it then got a second issue with the same design on the reverse, but a new obverse design, that one there as we just saw. But it was then, in 1885, given the crowned spade shield design. Spade shield guineas are very collectible coins. The spade design was used until the end of the golden guinea. Next up is the 2 guinea piece. None were needed for circulation, but they did make this one, featuring that classic design on the reverse, with a special portrait for collectors on the obverse. It was only struck as a proof coin though, so none entered circulation. Guineas were demonetised in 1816 and a new coin was brought in, the gold sovereign. Although it had been used in the 1400s, it was brought back now as a milled coin. So first up is the half sovereign, and here it is, featuring a crowned royal shield with a Hanoverian shield inside and the legend outside. This design was used on the few years of George III half sovereigns. The obverse featured this portrait of George III, one of his better ones. Next up then, it's the gold sovereign, and I'm sure you recognise this design. Once again we see the Benedetto Petrucci George and the Dragon design. This design has a garter on the outside though, and the obverse once again features this portrait of George III. Well, there we go then, that's all the coinage types of George III. Comment down below your favourite George III coin. As always, we hope you enjoyed and we hope you've learned something from this video, and we'll see you on our next Bits and Bobs video. Bye.